from social media hashtags to full-blown violence and attacks on human beings. There's been a lot of cases of xenophobia and the likes, and today we're talking about Igbophobia. What are the origins, what are the drivers, and of course, what are the possible solutions? Because this subject matter has sparked a lot of debate and conversation. Well, Chris Maduka is in the studio. He's a commentator and a public affairs analyst, and he's going to throw some light into this concept of phenomenon called Igbophobia. Good morning once again, Chris. Thank you for joining us this morning. And if I dare say, you are looking very colorful.
Very, very.
Oh, thank you very much. The topic of discourse is not colorful.
Indeed, indeed.
So I am an Igbo man, and my name Christian Chibuzo Maduka. I'm a proud one.
Yes, good to know. All right.
I've lived in Nigeria
for
all my life. I schooled in Nigeria. Beside my primary schools, I went to federal school when we have 10 federal schools in Nigeria. All my friends span across all tribes in Nigeria. The best of them, I remember Bashiru Mohammed at Federal School of Arts and Science, Ogoja. And I left there. I went to first university. My first university, I've gone to many universities. First one was University of Benin. When I got there, I met wonderful people from across Nigeria. And that shaped my life. Since then, I've always been at the forefront of saying, if you see me, see Chris Maduka, address me as Chris Maduka. If there are things I've done, please, if you can tolerate me, correct me. And tell me to my face, I've done this wrong, you don't like it. I will continue to be friends.
All right. I love your testimony, and I would like to draft my first question from your testimony. You've mentioned being in a unity kind of school, unity school, federal school, where you have a lot of people from different states come. So you have a lot of good stories to tell about them. Now, at what point do you say that tensions arose that actually led to what we know now as Igbophobia, which is a form of xenophobia?
Yes, that's where I'm coming. Before I was born, there's been stories from our parents of how the Igbos, in fact, we that were born these mid-60s, some of us were
just before
toddlers.
The war, just before the war.
Toddlers.
The Civil War.
We were toddlers when some of us were, just babies when the war was going on. But when we were able to read and write and we were able to make intelligent decisions, our parents could tell us what actually to the war. There was one uncle of mine that was stranded in the north. Those were killings of the Igbos. And it was, if you hear the story. But what did I do? Because of the outlook I've decided to have in life, I dropped all. And where I go, I want to preach this idea of one Nigeria. Let's treat ourselves as equal. And I will tell you, I've enjoyed Nigeria. And each time people want to bring this issue of, want to have this bias about one particular tribe in Nigeria, I've always been one of the people that will say, drop it. You know why you have to drop it? It can never lead to our development. It can only bring us back to hatred. And there's a common, this is biblical, that there's nowhere you have hatred and this backbiting and that progress will come. Nigeria, we're moving forward at a point. But when this backbiting and get one tribe in Nigeria, color them bad just to make a point, I don't know. When you finish eating, you rub your hands on their body. And every fool has done that and get away with it.
Now, would you say Nigeria has lived up to their federal character, disposition?
Zero. There's no federal character. But we have all tolerated. Because of things that happened, there are certain things that will happen. It's okay. Probably we got it At a point, they press you to a point, you now said, okay, something happened. They say people went to war, and the stigma of that has not stopped. But let's do simple mathematics. How long will it take you to say somebody made a mistake for you to stop it? How long? Did the war take place in 1967? It started 67, ended 70. Do the mathematics, tell me. I'm not good at mathematics. But I want to hinge my effort on that. That why are we still fighting the war after so many years? And we are fighting it in different guises against the Igbo tribe.
Now, the question, Abati, was, what were the tensions or the pressure points or the things that happened, even preceding the war, that led to this, the treatment of a particular ethnic group?
It was
because
really
there was something that actually led to
the majors who implemented the first coup, and it was termed Igbo coup, which some of the people involved were still living. They wrote their testimony and said that coup was not Igbo coup.
You think it's because it was led by Kaduna and Zogu?
Kaduna and Zogu led. But out of the 6 majors, or about 7 of them that were involved in that, how many of them were Igbos? That will tell you.
Kaduna wasn't even, I don't even think he was born.
Kaduna and Zogu is from Banam.
But we didn't grow up in the
He
East.
never tested the Igbo land. He grew up in Kaduna, and that's why Kaduna is his name. They call him Kaduna and Zogu. And then that's about it. What I'm saying is that we have gotten to a point, and the point we're talking about is Igbophobia. The question is, who is afraid of Igbos? And for how long can this continue? There's a Igbo proverb that says, if the Agama lizard did not do and show the children why he is Agama lizard, they will make the habit of eating it during the rainy season and during the dry season. And time has come. Certain things has begun to do, and people think they can't just do that. The Igbos have now decided we must survive in this Nigeria. It's our country. And whatever we think is our problem, in fact, it has gone round. Almost all the 400 tribes of Nigerians in Nigeria are now thinking about self-actualization, self-reliance. Everybody's talking about themselves. So if it's the Igbos that saw it ahead and they were talking about it, and the majority of Nigeria says is one Nigeria, and they pull everybody back, we are that back there. And you pull us back into it, and you cannot accommodate us, you cannot accept us, you cannot tolerate us, and we still face stigma and these phobias and all. We say it's high time we have to stop it.
Chris, I want to ask, why is Igbophobia a thing? Why do people feel threatened by the Igbo people?
We have what you call in this country, everybody, if we work together in Signature TV, I have my bias against you. I have bias, he has but these bias are mutual. It doesn't go beyond the fact I will take it to the point of trying to eliminate you or trying to make sure you do not make progress. Even in workplaces, you have this everywhere. People, human beings are, my father-in-law told me human beings are like roasts of chicken. You throw a cup of rice for them to be, pick. Some will pick it. There were so many rice on the ground for them to pick. One will pick, and look at the other one. I want to start kicking against the other one, following the pick. That's human beings for you. But what makes us mature is ability to develop our mentality to the point of acceptance and tolerance so that we can grow as a society and a community. Of course, the Igbo say, let's come out to the open place, let us meet. It's acceptance. But when the chips come to push, everybody say, go home to your house, go home to your wives, everybody go home. Is that understanding that we have been preaching. Accept Igbos for whatever you can sit down and say. If you have excesses, cut it there at where your interest stops, or another person starts there, because Nigeria is not meant for Igbos alone. I must appreciate that. There are points I face my Igbo people and I said, we make so much noise, Nigeria is not meant for us alone. But then when you look back, the pressure, the phobia They're talking down. Everybody, even people who does not know anything.
Which is why I'm still taking us back to the root cause. Could it be that even before the Civil War broke out, could it be that it's because the Igbos are, enterprising, they like to, like some people will say, when they go to a place, they encroach and like to take over, they build houses on other people's lands and things like that. What is the root cause of this hatred?
I can say the root cause is that if you as a Nigerian, I've grown up in Nigeria for the rest of my life, I'm not here to declare my age, but I have seen a little bit of the ages in Nigeria. I know where you go around, if you meet those what you call it, hurdles in your way, of people who feel that they can't tolerate you, you find another way. It happens. There may be, we're not giving room for anybody to say, if you think, let me give you an analogy. That's that I was staying in a house where we have a young man who grew up and said he's now a born-again Christian, he's a Pentecostal, because we were born into Orthodox Church. At the point, everybody was like, why should you be a born again? He was fighting. And the man came up and said, for God's sake, I have not said I'm a born again and I stopped you from being a born again. You can also claim you are. Maintain it. It's free. Why is everybody fighting me that choose to be a born again? Assuming what you're saying is true, that Igbos are
proactive,
outgoing,
forceful,
adventurous, that they want to make. They can go anywhere and survive. And they even use this analogy. Go to anywhere in the world. If you do not see an Igbo man,
run.
Just go. So if they get to any point and they find to build an environment that's conducive and they occupy and stay. And they have never done it by force. Because if you say build a house on somebody's land, by agreement, a man and a woman lay and sleep and something take place. And you can't say it's rape. It's a, what do you call it? You women, you call it something. You say it's a mutual agreement. It's a consent.
Consensual.
So, if I go to your land, some people have been to, Igbos have been to so many people's land, and they say, you are not wanted. They will move to another one. If they get here, you will encourage them to stay. They want to buy land, you sell to them, and they build houses. Even also rent to people of land you pay. They will stay together. Don't you better feel that people who do not near you, a friend you know, our enemy you know, is it not better than the angel you do not know? If the Igbos are that bad, they go to your society, come too close, do all things you do, want to create. If you say they pay tax, they pay. If you say tenement revenue, they pay. If you anything you say they pay, because they just say allow us live our life.
In that sort of an environment,
is it blocking anybody's?
Could it be a psychological reaction?
Then you deal with that psychological reaction and do not take it on.
They probably do not know how to deal with it effectively. That's why they take it out. On Igbos, because the Igbos are reflecting what they are not, what they cannot do.
I accepted this interview, this invitation to come. I think time has come where we say we want a stop to it. There is a leader, Igbo leader, that some of the spirits of him still reigns, and those people do not know. Ikemba Odimegwu Ojukwu, the dean himself, he said, tell the federal government, if they cannot defend me, I'll defend myself. If I submit myself to Nigeria, as one Nigeria, which we have all preached we want to be, over time, and we still find this phobia, marginalization, so many vices against one tribe. And some, one is funny thing. Some people from other tribes have noticed that they're fighting for us. There is this man I follow every day, Dr. Charles Apoki. When he speaks, I want to shed tears. This is a guy that speaks. He has responded to a lot of accusations against him. We keep asking, what did you want these people to do? Igbos, what did they do to Nigerians? And some people felt that what they are doing to Igbos, that's why Nigeria has not moved an inch. Okay. Is it not better that if somebody marries your mother, you call the person daddy? That's what my father-in-law told me. He said, whoever marries my father, I call him daddy. If you have what I want, I need, what will it cost you by bringing me closer, making me happy, and you share? Why this? Why this? Is it by talking down, by marginalization, by pressing and stigmatizing and doing this over? And it has not solved the problem. And the people are making effort to survive under that very strict and dangerous conditions. They are now is like seeing it as survival. For one thing, we did not beg God to put us in Nigeria. The God who put us in Nigeria as a tribe knew out of infinite wisdom why he did that. And nobody, only God, will decide otherwise. So if we find ourselves here, the best thing I will advise, like I have tolerated, I've told you all my friends, presently, it's not because I'm on public television. If I tell you the best friend I've had, my best friend in this world is Wale Adioye from Ibadan. I need to say this, my best friend ever. Somebody I will call anytime, he will answer. He also schooled in University of Nigeria and Soka. And when they were in school, they were doing what they called traditional chieftaincy title in the schools. His traditional name is Ichia Ezu Gowan.
Wow.
I've forgotten the house in University of Nigeria and Soka. So when I call you Wale Adioye, I tell Ichia Ezugo of Igbo land, he will answer me. He also called me. He calls me one lady number. We speak in Igbo when we talk. It touches me and it brings down tears in my eyes when I see I have children and I know how I've survived in Nigeria, but this time, in the last 8 years, Igbo nation has faced, and I think Nigeria itself has faced so much disunity being preached from high levels. Do you remember we can have some little biases among ourselves? You know, there is this name, you go somewhere, they say, you hear things like Nyamere, you hear Koboko, you hear, you know, this kind of thing. But when you go to away the market and see the number of Yoruba, Hausa, Igala, Fulani, and people that are there trading, and the trucks that are coming from northern Nigeria discharging goods without any, no harassment. The greatest customers, people make phone calls and they will weigh bill goods and they come and sell, and people everywhere they have gone around. There's no state in Nigeria I've not traveled to and I've met friends. But we keep seeing every day, we're fighting every day, we be the people mobilizing the Igbo people say, do not fight back. Do not fight back. Tolerate. But it's getting to a point where these people are fighting us back now. Who are the people quelling? That the people are always cleaning their hands on Igbo society. And he said, enough is enough.
Chris, you talked about people from other parts of the country coming to the South is to settle and build businesses and equally progress. Sometime on Thursday, this media commentator, Ruben Abati, he made a statement that no Nigerian Yoruba man can purchase a land in Southeast. How true is that?
It's part of the thing that has pained me, that has made me to accept to be here. Ruben Abati, I met in 1979. 1987, 88. He came as a youth corper. The University of Benin, precisely Department of Theatre Arts. And he took us on theatre criticism. And all the people in that class I will mention, Professor Dede Samuel, Nobet Young, these are renowned actors that the same class with me. I can go on and on and on. We make jokes. Now, if I call Nobet Young, I will not start speaking in Ruben Abati's voice. Because Ruben Abati will enter the class and said, Chris Maduka, you're in this class. We are not here to carry dead woods. You know, he's fond of doing that. So we call him, I call Dede Samuel. Remember, we are not here to carry dead woods. That's the point we made him. Very brilliant young man. He was the best student from University of Calabar. So as a youth corper, they posted him to university at that time to lecture. That will tell you how brilliant Ruben is. Ruben made all the paper, won all the awards at University of Calabar. They call it Marabai. That time. And we saw him as an... When I was doing my master's at University of Ibadan, Ruben was doing his doctorate. And he finished ahead of me and left. And he got having my respect, even when he was Sorok as with good luck and media. He got all our support. But in life, there are certain times that you cannot pretend for too long what you are not. His latest outburst on Igbo race has destroyed all my respect for Ruben Abati. He overreached himself. You know why? For somebody of that, for somebody like me that's been in the media practice for 35 years, and I have guided, and nobody can faulted me of having disparaged any tribe in Nigeria, it wasn't by accident. I knew how I managed. It's part of me, so I can't pretend. Even while I'm speaking here, I can't. I find it difficult to disparage any tribe or become biased. But if you have been hiding and pretending, it will come out one day. And it has come out of Ruben Abati's mouth. And that's why he's paying for it. I have withdrawn all my respect for him, and he has spoken out of ignorance of the highest order. And it's so damaging. That's why we can't respond to it. If you check the responses he has gotten over time, you will know that nobody is taking it for granted. And of course, I love what the Igbos are doing now, because time has come for us to stand up to defend ourselves. We cannot take this disparaging again. If you are in this place, you want land, you meet the agents, and to see that he's quoting T.O.S. Benson. My closeness with Nnamdi Azikiwe's house and his children, Bamidele Chukwuma Azikiwe, the Owele of Onitsha, the second Owele, who took over for his father, Nnamdi Azikiwe, the T.O.S. Benson and that family are so tight and close. What happens if you go close and talk about it? He spoke out of ignorance. And to know that something is wrong with his quotation in using T.O.S. Benson of almost 60 years quotation to judge the present generation. I will tell you that beyond University of Benin, where he did NYC, and probably the Lagos where he stayed and his town, his state, that Ruben Abati has not been to any other part of the world. No matter his intelligence, you will also give out yourselves at one time or another to show you are in that area of life where you are lacking. That's where part of it. When you look at Igbo nation and say they don't sell land to anybody. In the first place, land is not taken to the houses. And they say, who want to buy?
Buy.
You will take, if I have a land in Onitsha, I will now travel to Lagos. Who want to buy? Go to Ibadan. Ruben Abati, do you want to buy land? And who are the neighbors of Ruben? Come and buy land. It's the people that are going that go out seeking for land to buy. So Ruben is never qualified in any way to talk about how to buy land or sell illegally. He's so much disqualified. He has never sought to buy. He's quoting T.O.S. Benson. He should have quoted modern people. He should have quoted modern people. And he has them around. People who are outgoing. Because his comfort of his home, where they kept him, after he left in Arise Television, he woke up every morning, sit down there. He will now look at Igbo Nation. He's looking at Igbo Nation of T.O.S. Benson era. He's not looking at Igbo Nation of 2024. And that's where he is behind. This Igbo Nation now, that the people have abandoned they even go to my village. Most of the big buildings are the people that even occupying and living there are the Yorubas. And the people from the north who are willing to come and stay. What you're talking about? Are they willing to stay, come and buy? He didn't look at the psychology of the people. That Igbos are shouting, we are going to nations, developing nations. Nobody is interested in coming here. And the only thing he will do, that's why it's damaging. Let him send me and tell me the choice area in Igbo land. I'm quoting, and he knows me. Let him tell me why he buy land. Within the next 1 week, we find land through the agents, the land speculators, and they will send the land for him to send the money. And we send in C of O. That's I'm betting him on public TV. If he does this and would not get land in the next 2 weeks, then he can go back. 2024. So there are some of the things, and because he's somebody of him that has gathered the respect of people over time, that's why I'm wasting this energy replying. But I don't think it's a normal energy. Because any other people can stand up tomorrow, and we want to tell time has gone. You don't wake up every morning and look at Igbo race. For whatever is your fears that is unfounded, sit to one place and use whatever you call the, you are to use one stone to kill 2 million birds. It doesn't work in this modern century. He spoke out of ignorance, and that's the flip. And the proverb and African proverb, the proverb of bone and silence says, who the gods want to dead, they will make him deaf and dumb. Because he has become too arrogant. Even when the co-presenters are trying to say, oh boy, take it easy, he still and talk on them as you cannot grow up more than Nigeria. If you think you have grown more than Lagos, come down to Southeast, sit down in a studio present, and disparage any nation. If you come out of that place alive, then you have to begin to know you are talking to people. This world does not revolve around you. I want to warn people who are destroying the mind of progressive young Nigerians who are coming up. Imagine the number of people that will destroy their mind of going out, the Gen Zs that are everywhere. You even be at home, you wouldn't know your children have connected with the whole world, talking to, they don't even know their tribe, they don't care. And somebody will not tell you, somebody like him, who has never made an attempt, we just destroy the mind of people who want to come and have a handshake across the Southeast with the Southwest for us to begin to mend and move our political future. With one statement from somebody like him, he will destroy all that. And I think we sit down and watch him. I think Ruben Abati has beaten more than he can chew. And more is coming. Because until he comes out to apologize, that's how it's continued to come on him. Because he who fetches the firewood that is filled with ants has invited lizard for a festival. So good luck, Ruben. You used to be my friend, but all the respect I have for you, I have taken it back until further notice. You cannot continue, and no one else like you can continue to disparage my people, because mouth doesn't go to another person's mouth and go back empty. Now mouth will take talk and disparage us. Now mouth will take the reply you. You are wrong, and you continue to be wrong until you apologize to the Igbos.
Thank you
We
so much,
are not
Chris.
just a walkover tribe in Nigeria. We are part of the developmental process of Nigeria. We are not angels as a tribe. But when we make our mistakes, we need to be corrected with love. And where the stigmatization over time, and people are selling it, and the permeating over ages and refuse to stop, we begin now to correct that narrative. It has to stop.
Thank you, Chris.
We are human beings.
Thank
the
you
blood
so much.
runs in our vein, and we breathe the air of Nigeria. Just like what is good for the geese is good for the gander. So,
thank you, Chris. That was so wonderful. That was insightful. Thank you so much for your time. And we've come to the end of the new day here. And we're moving over to the Abuja studio to take over from here. Don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms and stick to our YouTube channel. Tap on the subscribe button to get notifications as well. And as we present our entertainment news, hold on while we move to the Abuja studio for the continuation of New Day. I am Quincy Roland, and with me,
I'm still Chigichi Agoram. Thank you for staying with us.